Hello, what is up guys, and welcome to InfernoKun back with The Walking Dead Season 4, or The Walking Dead, the final season, talking about some details that were kind of given over at New York, the New York Comic Con, and they were there to give us some details about The Walking Dead Season 4. Small details, but hey, anything is good to hear as of right now to spark a discussion while we wait for Season 4 to be released, and we'll get to when and all that good stuff in this video. Sorry it took a bit to get to this video. I had to leave campus due to storm hurricane thing, and it was either go home or stay in auditorium with people, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go home so like I don't have to deal with that. Anyways, video Walking Dead, we had the NYCC going on this last Saturday, and lovely forum poster. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the forum post. It's called New Season 4 Details by the user Don't Look Back, and the poster of this in the little comments here, we have Grayson, who kind of put the highlights for me to go ahead, not for me, you know, put the highlights for you guys to kind of see, but I'm gonna go over them. Thank you, Grayson, for highlighting it, and I'll be going over each highlighted point to talk about what they said in the panel. So, going into the first point, it says the hardest thing about there being a final season is everyone yelling at us saying, does that mean Clementine is gonna die? And then they respond with, that's not necessarily the case. So yeah, so death of a character finishing off the season, usually a series, you know, last episodes, last seasons, last minute, they kill off things to end it all. That's very dramatic, very expected. You know, Telltale, I guess they don't want to be expected. You know, Walking Dead Season 1, how did it end? With the main character dying. And they already done that, you know, once, so no, it will make sense to not repeat that again where the main character dies. Now I know it's The Walking Dead, you know, how can you have The Walking Dead without dead things or death or dying from death or something like that? But anyways, it would be really expected. Now my personal opinion is that, you know, deep down, I love Clementine. She's a great character and I really just like her a lot, and I don't want her to die because I like her a lot. But from a writing story plot standpoint, I'm like, okay, you can't really kill her off, or you can, but it would just be terribly cliche. It would be expected. Everyone here is like, okay, it's the final season, she's gonna die, I hope she dies, I hope she doesn't die, or something like that, and it's expected. Everyone's kind of saying that she's gonna die because it's the last season of The Walking Dead, and I think they should do something that's not really expected and would actually be without her death, you know. Other alternative is a cliffhanger that kind of just leaves it open to interpretation, like them actually ending it off on a happy note or on a whatever note, and just being like, that's the end, bye bye. She walks off. Like for example, let's go for an example here. The Walking Dead Season 2, where Clementine walks off into the distance with Kenny, or gets like, or stays in house hardware with Jane, or becomes alone. Those endings could have been the end of Clementine right there. They could have been it for her, but it wasn't. You know, those kind of endings are left open for you to interpret, but they decided to go ahead and of course continue her story on. So it will either be, you know, dying, or it will be like a ending of Season 2 kind of thing, which I hope they don't do. I'm not sure what they're planning to do, but I hope it's something that's really unique and really awesome, that kind of fulfills Clementine's story in a great way. Okay, next point we have is of course them saying Robert Kirkman and other Skybound people were in the writing room for the final season, hammering out the details. Now, for the most part, you know, Robert Kirkman, he was, from what I heard, he was a part of Season 3, A New Frontier. And, you know, not really sure what happened there. I mean, it wasn't bad, but Robert Kirkman, I don't know, man. But I know Robert, he worked closely with, you know, Telltale with Season 1. Not really too much with Season 2, but then came back with Season 3. So I'm wondering what they're planning to do this time around, bringing back Robert to work more closely and hammering out the details, where that means details about their game or details about, you know, how to do things the way that he wants to do it, that would kind of just bring in some comic-esque type plot points. That's what I'm thinking right there. We'll see about that. But Robert Kirkman, I hope he He's a great writer. I mean, he's been doing the comics for so long, and they're actually really good in my opinion. So hopefully he can bring some spark in the Telltale and make it great. But it also says other Skybound people, so I'm wondering what they're planning to do with those other people that aren't Robert Kirkman. Anyways, next point we have, of course, is Clementine will be playable every episode. Kind of given. I mean, why not have Clementine playable every episode? Because, New Frontier kind of brought in Javier and made Clementine playable only in flashbacks. So they're like, hey, don't worry. Clementine is the main star of season 4. She will be playable every episode, not in flashbacks hopefully, but just her being playable as the main protagonist in this season, which is great because many of us still love Clementine and want to play as her. And one of the problems that season 3 had is that Clementine was kind of steering towards a direction that made her very different from where we last left off in season 2, and we couldn't control that. She was over here being an edgelord teen, and we couldn't stop her. We couldn't do it. It was not possible, and that's what I think about that. Anyways, that's great to hear Clementine playable every episode. Then next one we can't say who just yet, but some of the talent who worked on season 1 will be coming back to work on season 4. So that's actually great news because season 1 has some phenomenal writers, some phenomenal just voice actors as well. I'm not sure if they mean director/writers or they mean actual voice talent. Now, one of my kind of wish lists for, writers, or at least I'm gonna go for writers and voice talent. For writers/directors, I really want Sean Vanneman. He's the guy who was director of season 1. He wrote some episodes as well. He was overall just a great guy. He actually went on to make his own company called Campo Santo, and he made his first game from that studio called Firewatch. You might have heard of it. And personally, the story was actually really good. He's a great writer. And there was some kind of controversy surrounding him where he wanted to copyright strike PewDiePie because of what he said during a certain PUBG stream. So he might not be in everyone's, best interest at the moment, but he is a great writer. He just might have a bit of a, power trip depending on what he wants to do. So hopefully it keep him on the writing board, director, and keeps him away from public relations. That would be great. But in terms of voice talent, we also have, of course, in my opinion, I would really love to see Nikki Rapp. She voiced, I believe, Lily. I also want Erin Yvette back as Molly because Erin Yvette is my favorite Telltale voice actor. She is just incredible, and Molly was a great character as well, so hopefully they bring her back, and that would be awesome. But then they actually go ahead and say, to piggyback off of this point, a lot of the themes, ideas, and maybe even characters that were explored in the first season are kind of still on the table to book in as a final season. So that's definitely good to hear because season 1 had pretty good themes, pretty good characters and ideas. Now from my head, season 1, what I think of when I think of themes, I'm thinking of about, protection, family, just taking care of people. Because Lee took care of Clementine. That was kind of like the main theme, was to take care of Clementine. She wasn't your family, but just protecting this person who was defenseless. And that could be applied to AJ in a way. Clem could be a Lee to AJ and stuff like that. Ideas, when I think of ideas from season 1, I think of ideas like, just struggling, survival, hunger, like in season 1, episode 2. Just things like that were really, really good. Hopefully that will be great. And characters, it said maybe even characters. So what I'm thinking of is Lily or Molly, someone from season 1. I would love to see Lily, in my opinion, because Lily is just a great character. She was kind of like Kenny, but a bit more aggressive in a way. She was definitely really, really aggressive, and overall, she was kind of a, bad person, but she was an interesting character nevertheless. But also we have Molly. She's kind of like, Jane, but, she was pretty badass and people didn't have a problem with her. So it could be Molly as well. She was definitely really awesome. So hopefully we see one of those two characters, maybe even somebody else I haven't mentioned. There might be a video on that in the future regarding returning characters, because pretty much it kind of confirms that they haven't forgotten characters like maybe even Krista. I like how all of the characters who are unknown from season 1, they're female. I mean, Krista was in season 2 as well, but you know, Molly, Lily, Krista, they're all female anyway. They were all forgotten and could come back in season 4. That would be great. That would be really, really awesome. Hopefully we see that coming back. That'd be great. Anyways, we have them recommending you play season 2 and season 3, but it's not really recommended, or it is recommended, but you don't have to do it, but they recommend you do it. Anyways, Melissa will be voice acting Clementine. Duh, you can't get rid of her. That'd be very, very awful if you did. Melissa is amazing. And then they say, but I can't say any other actors or any other characters. So that's more hinting at returning characters, which is definitely being hinted like 3 times right now. 3 times hinting at returning characters. So that's really, really good. Then we have the release time schedule. They have, set, kinda. Not really set, but like aiming for that certain schedule. We have them saying it will probably be out around spring or summer, maybe around April or May. But it could actually shift, depending on how rewrites, if it happens, hope it doesn't happen, but rewrites could, shift it. But the aim is Q2 2018. That is fairly soon. Walking Dead New Frontier came out last year actually. That's actually crazy. Obviously we had a long wait from season 2 to season 3, but now a shorter wait from season 3 to season 4. So hopefully they do good by it and make it a great, awesome finale for Clementine. Then we have the other point. They say they had a big meeting recently. Job says they seem to have a plan for how the story will start and end. It is great to hear, but you see things like the files, for example, you kind of dig through them. You see cut content, you see rewrites, and it happens all the time with Telltale, man. You hear about so many rewrites that happen, and you're like, wait, why was this cut from the game? So hopefully they have a set plan that will kind of just not be rewritten to the point where they lose plot focus on what they're trying to do. Because, season 1 had cut content / rewrites. Season 2 had them. Season 3 had them as well. I mean, come on, man. Season 2 and Season 3 of The Walking Dead had the biggest rewrites I've ever seen. And I think Season 2 kind of suffered from it the most, in my opinion, because there were things that felt like they were kind of just like confused on where they're trying to go with the episode, and it was kind of apparent. So hopefully they have a plan on how it starts and ends and what happens in the middle as well. But of course they are live developing, so things could change depending on how community feedback kind of goes and plays. So hopefully this will all be great to hear. Then the last point we have, of course, asking how many writers are on this, and they say lots of people kicking ideas, but will boil down to a couple writers with other people. So one of my things that I noticed for the most part is that they have a bunch of writers on different episodes. But one thing I see is that, one writer does episode 1 and then he comes back at the last episode 5, and you're like, wait, where's my choices at? Why aren't my choices mattering? Why didn't Sarah use the gun if I taught her how to use it? Those kind of things. I think that I'm not sure if it happens, but for me, I look at it, in my world, I see, let's say 5 writers, okay? 5 writers do episode 1, and then 2, they do episode 2. They're like, hey, write episode 2. Here you go. Here's my script from episode 1. Now write episode 2. Now, for the most part, I see them not actually relaying these extra small choices, those blank will remember that type choices. And those are the most important choices that could actually be really great. Now, for the most part, Batman has been doing great with it, and other series like Guardians of the Galaxy has been doing good with it as well. So they are improving, and A New Frontier kind of did it really cool too. So the way I see it is that, they're passing their scripts on to other writers to write the next episode, and they aren't really looking at the other choices we made besides the major ones. That's the big thing that I see here. So hopefully keeping a tight group of writers on each episode will make it more easier to manage and work together to basically make our choices kind of matter more, bring up more remembrance from other characters, that would be really good as well. So hopefully that will actually make the story better, in my opinion. So anyways, what do you guys think about some of the details I said regarding The Walking Dead Season 4, this little NYCC panel? Definitely some cool information. It gives me more hope, it gives me more optimism, which probably isn't really the best thing to have with Telltale, but hey, you know, I've had my dreams crushed so many times before. Why not one last time with The Walking Dead last season? Don't worry, I'm joking. Don't worry, I'm joking. I think it's gonna be good, in my opinion. I think that Telltale is great at making these choice-based games, The Walking Dead, and I really love them so much. So hopefully this will live up to my hopes and dreams and be the best thing I've seen since Rey from Star Wars or something like that. I don't know what to say right now. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up and subscribe for more Walking Dead content from Telltale over on the channel. Also, if you guys have not seen it already, I have a community Discord server. Discord is a chat app that kind of like lets you chat with the typing and the voice as well. And I'm there and I do things that's cool. So come join Discord. Description box below. Join the server. Say hi, InfernoKun, and I'll say hi back if I feel like it. Anyways, that's pretty much it from me. Enough talking. Join Discord. Like the video. Walking Dead's cool. I'm out.